your man, Louie T. Welcome to the 2018 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and the hottest names of the 2018 NFL Draft. We're talking edge rushers, and if you're asking me honestly who the most explosive edge rusher in this draft class is, I'd tell you Boston College edge rusher Harold Landry would be your guy. Now, are there some other deficiencies? Are there some things that you would like him to do better? Is he what you're actually looking for as an all-around football player? I don't know. I don't know what you're exactly looking for. But if you're just asking me who's the most explosive guy off the edge, whose first step scares you the most, what's the one guy that can bend the corner at 7 yards, run that track, and turn the corner at 7 yards in this draft, I tell you, it's Harold Landry. And so because of that, he's probably going to hear his name on day one. Definitely going to hear it in day two, if not day one. But in a draft void of true impact players in this draft at the edge rushing position, after you get past the first 3 or 4 prospects, there's no doubt in my mind that Harold Landry is going to hear his name called in day one. So let's talk about his pros, why he's going to come off the board in day one of the 2018 NFL Draft, and what Harold Landry brings to the table. So you start with his measurables. 6'2", 252 pounds stands Harold Landry, and I look at him and I think if I had it my way, he'd be a 3-4 outside linebacker. He looks the part. That body type fits in a 3-4 defensive scheme. Could he put his hand in the dirt? Sure. There's no reason he can't be a defensive end at 252 pounds. We see guys do it all the time. But to me, the way he's constructed, configured, and what he brings to the table, I think he's better rushing out of a 2-point stance. I think he's better off being able to stand up and be able to rush up the field so that he can bend and beat a tackle from a 2-point stance. So I would love to see him. His measurables say that he should be in a 3-4 defense. We'll see where he lands because he's versatile enough to play with his hand in the dirt. So his measurables are fine, and I think they're good enough to play in either a base 3-4 or an even front defense. Athleticism, 4'6", 440. Good athleticism for Harold Landry. The guy can move, he can run, and he can make plays. That his athleticism is on full display with this next pro. Explosiveness. To me, if you're talking about the ability to beat a tackle just off of pure explosive dynamic speed up the field, you're talking about Harold Landry. His is better than Davenport. It's better than Chubb in this particular draft. I'd put him up there in terms of first step. I put him up there with the #1 overall pick from last year, Myles Garrett. Garrett's first step is ridiculous. So is Harold Landry. When he times it up right and he makes up his mind to be explosive, he's got a chance to win off the edge just off of an explosive first couple of steps. So I think this guy's get off and explosiveness is the type that scares most offensive coordinators and left and right tackles in this league and keep them up at night. He's got the ability to do that when healthy, to be one of the most explosive pass rushers in this particular draft class. Hand usage, I love the fact that to his fastball, that speed up the field, there is a changeup. There is an off-speed pitch. It's called the long arm of the law. His extension of that one arm to be able to keep that tackle off of his frame, off of his body, keep him at bay, at a distance, drive him back into the lap of the quarterback, and create space that way. When this guy finally puts it all together, he's going to be something special because you don't get 16 and a half sacks in a season like he did in 2016 on happenstance or by chance. It's because he's putting it all together. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but his hand usage, that long arm of the law, is a dangerous move. When you've got the kind of speed and explosiveness that Harold Landry possesses, and then you come with that long arm of the law, they're looking for speed. They're looking for the speed. They're opening up their hips. They're so worried about the speed. You come with power and convert that speed to power with the long arm of the law, you're going to arrest some left and right tackles at the next level. He did that at the collegiate ranks. Awareness. This is a guy, I like when guys play under control. And again, sometimes there's something to be said about just being a responsible athlete. What that means is doing your job. and doing it to the best of your abilities, but not compromising anybody else that's on the field because you decided you wanted to go and be Superman. Don't go biting the bait. Don't go chasing the cheese down the line because you want to go be a backside bandit and go make a play front side. No. Stay at home, stay disciplined, and look, it may not be your play to make, but here's the thing. If you do bite the bait, and let's say you're right, and it is a handoff, and you make the play, that's great. But what happens if the quarterback pulls that football out of the belly of that back, you commit, and then that tight end slips right by you, and he's got some athleticism, he's got some wheels on him, he can run, and all of a sudden now you've just given up 22 yards. Why? When you just stay at home and do your job. Harold Landry is one of those guys that stays at home, does his job, he's aware, he knows what's going on. Quarterback's going to get rid of the football on a quick 3-step drop. Let me get my hands up. I'm not going to get there. Let me get awareness. Seeing things around you and knowing how to react to them. Harold Landry has that. And I think that's going to benefit him at the next level. Redirect, again, we're talking about an athlete here. We're talking about a guy that can move very light on his feet. So he's able to stop, change directions, and redirect and make plays. Pass rushing ability, 26 career sacks. Like I said, there was a 16.5 sack season in there. Was there a little bit of a disappointment and a drop-off, a huge drop-off at that, from 16.5 to 5.5 in 2017? You damn right it was. But there was a lot as to why that happened. But make no mistake about it, this guy has the ability to get it done at a very high clip at the next level. His pass rushing ability, you may talk about him as a run defender, but there's one thing you cannot question with Harold Landry, and that's his ability to get to the quarterback. Right now, he's probably, of this group of pass rushers, he's the most polished of this group. I'll go out on a limb and say that right now. So again, give me Harold Landry. If you're looking for a guy to go get the quarterback and bag one on 3rd and 8, give me Harold Landry in this draft class. Coverage skills. He can drop into coverage, man, and he's actually pretty solid in coverage. Again, I said this before, I'll say it again, I'll say it till my face turns blue. I don't want to see my best pass rusher dropping into coverage ever. And I know it's a little bit of a change up and you may catch a team off guard and maybe he gets a pick because he's dropping into coverage. I don't care on 3rd and 9. I want my best pass rusher going after the quarterback. I don't want him dropping into coverage. I don't want him dropping into a hook zone. I don't want him dropping over the middle of the football field, taking away the check down. I don't want him kind of hovering in space and kind of reading the quarterback's eyes and seeing if he can't make a play. I want him going after the quarterback and get to do what he does best, bag quarterbacks. So he can and will drop into coverage if you ask him to, but I would prefer him not to have to do that. Motor, he's another guy. I love it. With these top prospects at the edge rushing position, I love the fact that these guys just hustle. They hustle their asses off. They want to be a part of the action. They want to get in the tackle. I love it. Harold Landry, another guy, sideline to sideline. He is just running like his hair's on fire, trying to get to the play. I love it. Backside, front side, doesn't matter. He wants to be a part of the play. Endurance, again. If you're going to be a guy that gives high energy on just about every snap, then you're going to have to be a well-conditioned athlete. And again, that's what Harold Landry is. Impact on the game. This is a guy, 37.5 tackles for loss in his career, 10 forced fumbles. Count them, 10 forced fumbles with those 26 career sacks. So again, this is a guy getting to the quarterback, getting the football out. You got to love that if you are a defensive coordinator looking to upgrade your pass rush in this draft. And he's got an interception under his belt as well. So this is a guy that does impact the game. And again, when you get elite edge rushers, they're going to command double teams. They're going to force backs to stay in and chip. They're going to force tight ends to stay in and block. You're taking away the other team's full maximum amount of eligibles. You go from 100% of eligibles to 80 just by a tight end or a back having to stay in to help. That's the impact on the game. Getting double teamed and freeing up another guy to have a one-on-one matchup. That's the impact on the game. Harold Landry's dropping into coverage, but they dedicated 2 guys to him. And now all of a sudden protection slides his way, but he's not even rushing. And now you get a free hitter off the backside on a safety blitz. That's the impact of a Harold Landry. That's the impact on the game. Getting to the quarterback as he's throwing the football, he gets rid of it, but you get to him on 3rd and 7 and he's got to discard the football. They got to punt. That's the impact on the game. second down and 7, and you knife into the backfield, 2-yard loss, and now it's 3rd and 9. That's the impact on the game, and that's what you get with Harold Landry. Pass rush plan. Unlike Bradley Chubb and Marcus Davenport, here's a guy that comes into the league and right away, he has a plan. You can see a guy that's setting things up. You can see a guy using a bevy of moves, an array of moves to get to the quarterback. Again, you don't get 16.5 sacks by just rushing up the field and using speed or using just a bull rush. You've got to be mixing it up to get 16.5 sacks. First of all, the fact that this man can bend at about a good 90-degree angle, and that's so rare. I liken him to DeMarcus Ware in that matter, that it's so rare to see a guy be able to duck under tackles. That's such a thing of beauty, and it's so rare. Not everybody has the ability to do that. Well, we talk about it. We call it that Gumby bend, that Gumby lean. We saw it with the linebacker out of Georgia that the Bears drafted in Leonard Floyd. That ability to bend, that wiry frame. He's a little bit more well put together than Leonard Floyd, but that same ability to bend and shape shift and be Gumby, he has that. So that's dangerous in itself. It's a weapon that few guys have, that tackles don't see very often. Tackles see speed all the time. Tackles see bull rushes all the time. Tackles see long arms of the law all the time. Anybody can do that. Not everyone can bend the corner and turn it at 7 yards and duck and dip under the tackle as he's trying to get his paws on you. Not every tackle sees that. And these guys are 6'6", 6'7", 6'5", and they're long, and they hate to have to bend. And a guy coming at them full speed and then ducking under their attempt to get their hands on them, that's tough to stop. You'll get that. You'll get the pure speed with the rip. You'll get the hard out. And once he learns a Euro step, hard outside, back inside Euro step, oh my God, this guy's going to be nasty at the next level. Also possesses a spin move. There's a lot to like here with Harold Landry and his ability to get to the quarterback. There's a plan in place. That's how you get 16.5 sacks in one season. I'm looking forward to him getting back to that. And we'll talk about why he wasn't at that level in 2017 as we jump into his cons. So we'll talk about why he wasn't at the same level from a statistics standpoint here in a second, but let's get to another elephant in the room with Harold Landry. Is he a complete player like Bradley Chubb? Absolutely not. Why? Because he doesn't impact the game in the run game as well as a Chubb or even a Marcus Davenport. His ability to set the edge and his ability versus the run, those are in question. All right, I've seen him set a physical edge at times, and then I've seen him get blown off the ball by 2 or 3 yards. Okay, I've seen him knife into the backfield and make a tackle for a loss, and I've also seen him get pushed up the field and pushed out of the play completely. So his inability to be consistent in the run game, that's part of the reason why I think he's more of a base 3-4 outside linebacker, because I want him going up against tight ends. I don't want him going up against the other team's tackle consistently. I think he can get washed in the run game if you're asking him to be an anchor in the run game as an edge setter. I prefer him going up against the other team's tight end and taking his chances there. I think he can win that matchup more times than not. You put him up against a team's tackle that's physical, that's strong at the point of attack, they're probably going to wash him out of the play. I've seen this guy wash down 2 gaps before. I'd prefer him to be in a 3-4 defense. If I had my choice of where this guy should land, I'd like him to land with a team that has a base 3-4 defensive front. Tackling ability. He misses too many tackles for me, man. He'll get in the backfield, get to the quarterback, and go head hunting. Quarterback ducks. He slips right over the top of him. He'll get to the running back. He'll grab him at the waist, slip down, and running back escapes and picks up an additional 2 yards. He misses too many tackles for me. He's too good of a football player to miss the amount of tackles that he misses. I need him to be a much surer tackler at the next level. I wasn't pleased with what I saw from him from a tackling standpoint. He missed way too many tackles. And finally, durability. This was an issue last season. Missed 4 games due to an ankle injury. It really brought him back down to earth from a statistics standpoint. If you're talking about two of the bigger disappointments in college football last year, one was Harold Landry, the other was Arden Key. Both of those guys were looked upon as big-time pass rushers that were going to cement and stake their claim as top-of-the-draft type of prospects. Neither one of them lived up to the hype that they set in 2016. And so the reason for Landry's discrepancy in production was the ankle injury that really hampered him throughout the 2017 campaign at Boston College. So that's something to keep in mind. If you can keep this guy healthy, he could be a problem at the next level. But if he's banged up, he's not the same guy. So that's Harold Landry in a nutshell. You're talking pass rushing standpoint, explosiveness, he's your guy. If you're looking for an all-around edge rusher, I don't know if Harold Landry is exactly what you're looking for. But yeah, he can stop the run, but he can also get his ass whooped in the run game in the same breath. So we'll see what happens with him. But this is a guy that I think can come in and in his rookie season get you 8.5, 9 sacks because he's that good at rushing the quarterback. Again, we'll see where he goes in this draft. I'm expecting him in a soft edge rushing draft class to go in the first round. It's going to do it for Harold Landry and his draft prospects 101 breakdown. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Remember, we're changing the game over here, period. And I've got many more of these prospects to come, so don't you go anywhere. You want to see what I gave Harold Landry and where he ranks among his peers? Check out the website, louietnetwork.net, for his score and the score of all the prospects that I've had a chance to look at in the 2018 NFL Draft. I've got more where this one came from, so come on back. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.